For centuries, hidden within the pages of ancient manuscripts and etched into the stones of forgotten ruins, lies a mystery that has baffled the brightest minds in history. Take the Voynich Manuscript, for example, a book filled with strange symbols, bizarre illustrations, and a language that no one has ever been able to decipher. Who created it? What does it mean? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all, was it ever meant to be understood? This is just one of the countless codes and ciphers that have left historians, cryptographers, and curious minds scratching their heads. Some believe these ancient puzzles were designed to protect secrets, while others argue they were meant to challenge future generations. But what if the truth is even more fascinating? What if these codes were never intended to be solved at all? In this video, we'll dive into the world of ancient codes and ciphers, exploring famous examples like the Voynich Manuscript, the Phaistos Disk, and the enigmatic Dorabella cipher. We'll uncover their possible purposes, examine the theories behind their creation, and ask the ultimate question: were these mysterious messages meant to be cracked, or were they designed to remain unsolved forever? Join us as we unravel the secrets of history's most perplexing puzzles and discover the fascinating intersection of secrecy, ingenuity, and the human desire to leave a mark that lasts through the ages. Ancient civilizations were masters of secrecy, and their use of codes and ciphers reveals a fascinating blend of necessity and ingenuity. Imagine a world where the stakes of communication were incredibly high, where a single intercepted message could mean the difference between victory and defeat in battle, or the exposure of sacred rituals meant only for the initiated. This is why codes and ciphers became essential tools. In diplomacy, rulers and emissaries relied on encrypted messages to negotiate alliances or broker peace without their plans falling into enemy hands. During wartime, generals used ciphers to conceal troop movements and strategies, ensuring their adversaries remained in the dark. And in religious contexts, codes protected the sanctity of sacred texts, reserving their wisdom for those deemed worthy. But not all codes were created equal. Some were designed to be cracked, but only by those with the right knowledge or tools. Think of them as ancient, invitation-only puzzles, meant to test the intellect of a select few. Others, however, were crafted to be nearly impossible to decipher, acting as permanent locks on secrets meant to stay hidden. This duality raises an intriguing question. Were these codes meant to be solved, or were they simply a way to mark information as sacred, untouchable, or beyond the reach of ordinary minds? The complexity of these systems suggests that their creators were not just hiding information, they were also making a statement about power, knowledge, and the boundaries of human understanding. As we delve deeper into specific examples, you'll see how these ancient puzzles reflect the values and priorities of the societies that created them, offering us a glimpse into their world through the lens of secrecy. Long before the digital age, the art of cryptography was already shaping the course of history. One of the earliest and most famous examples is the Caesar cipher, named after Julius Caesar himself. This simple yet effective method involved shifting each letter in a message by a fixed number of places down the alphabet. For instance, with a shift of 3, A would become D, B would become E, and so on. While it might seem rudimentary by today's standards, this cipher was revolutionary at the time, allowing Caesar to send confidential orders to his generals without fear of interception. It's a testament to how even the simplest codes could have profound implications in the ancient world. But the roots of cryptography stretch even further back to civilizations like ancient Egypt. Hieroglyphs, often seen as mere decorative art, were sometimes used to encode messages, blending secrecy with symbolism. In Greece, the Spartans took cryptography to the battlefield with the cytale, a wooden rod used to create transposition ciphers. A strip of parchment wrapped around the rod would reveal a hidden message only when wound around a rod of the same size. These early methods weren't just about hiding information. They were about controlling who could access it, a concept that remains central to cryptography today. In Rome, cryptography became a tool of statecraft. Beyond Caesar's cipher, Roman leaders used coded messages to manage their vast empire, ensuring that sensitive information about alliances, rebellions, and trade routes remained secure. These systems weren't just practical, they were also symbolic, reflecting the power and sophistication of the societies that created them. The evolution of these methods over time shows how cryptography was as much about innovation as it was about necessity. Yet, not all ancient codes were purely functional. Some were crafted with an artistic flair, turning encryption into a form of expression. Take, for example, the intricate patterns of the Phaistos Disk, a mysterious artifact from ancient Crete. Its spiraling symbols stamped into clay have yet to be fully deciphered, leaving scholars to wonder if it was a practical code, a ceremonial object, or perhaps both. This duality between practicality and artistry hints at a deeper truth. Ancient codes weren't just tools for secrecy. They were also a way to elevate communication into something timeless and enigmatic. As we explore more examples, you'll see how these ancient systems continue to captivate us, not just for their ingenuity, but for the stories they tell about the people who created them. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most enigmatic artifacts in the history of cryptography, the Voynich Manuscript. This mysterious book, named after the rare book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, who discovered it in 1912, has puzzled scholars, cryptographers, and linguists for over a century. Its pages are filled with an unknown script, a flowing, almost musical arrangement of characters that no one has been able to decode. Alongside the text are bizarre illustrations, plants that don't match any known species, celestial diagrams, and figures that seem to float in strange, otherworldly scenes. It's as if the manuscript is a window into a reality that defies explanation. Theories about the Voynich manuscript are as varied as they are fascinating. Some believe it's an elaborate hoax crafted to deceive or entertain. Others argue it's a genuine encoded text, possibly an alchemical or herbal manuscript meant to preserve secret knowledge. There's even speculation that it could be a lost language, a cipher so complex that it remains beyond our grasp. Despite countless attempts to crack its code using everything from medieval cryptography to modern artificial intelligence, the manuscript has stubbornly resisted all efforts. Its secrets remain locked away, a tantalizing mystery that continues to captivate the curious. What makes the Voynich manuscript so compelling isn't just its undeciphered text, but the questions it raises about its purpose. Was it meant to be solved, or was it created as a kind of intellectual challenge, a puzzle so intricate that it would outlast its creators? Some scholars suggest it might have been a form of art, a symbolic expression never intended to be understood in a literal sense. This idea challenges our assumptions about codes and ciphers, reminding us that not all secrets are meant to be uncovered. Sometimes, the act of encoding itself is the message, a testament to the human desire to create something enduring, something that sparks wonder and debate long after its origins are forgotten. The Voynich manuscript isn't just a relic of the past, it's a living mystery that continues to inspire new generations of codebreakers and dreamers. Its enduring allure lies in its ability to resist explanation, to remain just out of reach. And perhaps that's the point. Not all codes were created to be solved. Some exist to remind us of the limits of our knowledge, to keep us questioning, searching, and marveling at the mysteries of the world. As we move forward, we'll explore other ancient codes that challenge our understanding in equally fascinating ways, each with its own story to tell. Among the many unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, few are as visually striking as the Phaistos Disk. Discovered in 1908 in the ruins of the Minoan Palace of Phaistos on the island of Crete, this circular clay artifact is unlike anything else from its time. Measuring about 6 inches in diameter, the disc is covered on both sides with a spiral of stamped symbols, 45 distinct characters in total, arranged in groups that seem to form words or phrases. Yet, despite over a century of study, no one has been able to definitively decipher its meaning. The symbols themselves are unique, appearing nowhere else in the archaeological record, which only adds to the disc's mystique. It's as if the creators of this artifact left behind a message in a language that vanished with them, leaving us to piece together its secrets. The challenges of decoding the Phaistos Disk are immense. Unlike the Rosetta Stone, which provided a key to understanding Egyptian hieroglyphs by comparing them to known Greek text, the disk offers no such linguistic Rosetta Stone. There's no parallel text, no known language to compare it to, and no clear cultural context to guide interpretation. This lack of a reference point has led to a wide range of theories about its purpose. Some scholars believe it could be a religious text, perhaps a hymn or prayer meant to invoke divine favor. Others suggest it might be a form of ancient record-keeping, a way to document trade transactions or important events. There's even a fascinating theory that the disk could be an early form of a board game, with the symbols representing moves or rules. Each of these ideas offers a glimpse into the possible functions of the disk, but none have been proven conclusively. What makes the Phaistos Disk particularly intriguing is the question of whether it was ever meant to be understood by future generations. The stamped symbols suggest a deliberate effort to create a lasting record, but the uniqueness of the script raises doubts about whether it was intended for widespread comprehension. Could it have been a private code known only to a select few, or was it a symbolic artifact designed more for ceremonial or artistic purposes than for practical communication? The disk's creators may have had reasons for encoding their message that we can only guess at, leaving us to wonder if the true purpose of the Phaistos Disk was to communicate or to mystify. As we ponder the enigma of the Phaistos Disk, it's worth considering how it reflects the broader challenges of understanding ancient codes. Without a clear key or context, even the most carefully crafted messages can become impenetrable puzzles. Yet, it's precisely this mystery that keeps us coming back, searching for clues and imagining the stories behind these ancient artifacts. The Phaistos Disk reminds us that not all codes are meant to be solved. Some exist to spark curiosity, to challenge our assumptions, and to remind us of the vast gaps in our knowledge of the past. And as we move forward, we'll explore another ancient cipher that continues to defy explanation, proving that the allure of unsolved mysteries is as timeless as the codes themselves. Now, let's shift our focus to a story that combines mystery, treasure, and a healthy dose of skepticism: the Beale Ciphers. This set of 3 encoded texts, first published in 1885, claims to reveal the location of a hidden fortune, gold, silver, and jewels worth millions by today's standards. The story goes that a man named Thomas J. Beale buried the treasure in the early 1800s and left behind these ciphers to guide future seekers to its location. But here's the catch: out of the 3 ciphers, only one has ever been solved. That single decrypted text describes the treasure in vivid detail, but the other 2, which supposedly contain the exact location and the names of the treasure's owners, remain stubbornly unbroken. This tantalizing gap between what we know and what we don't has fueled over a century of speculation, treasure hunts, and heated debate. The solved cipher, known as Beale Cipher 2, was cracked using the Declaration of Independence as a key. Each number in the cipher corresponds to a word in the declaration, with the first letter of that word forming the decoded message. It's a clever system, but it raises an important question. If one cipher was solvable, why haven't the other 2 yielded to similar methods? Some believe the remaining ciphers are simply too complex, requiring a key that has been lost to time. Others argue that the entire story might be an elaborate hoax designed to lure treasure hunters into a wild goose chase. After all, no one has ever found the treasure, and there's no concrete evidence that Thomas J. Beale or his fortune ever existed. Could the Beale Ciphers be nothing more than a clever ruse, a story crafted to captivate and deceive? What makes the Beale Ciphers so fascinating isn't just the possibility of hidden treasure. It's the way they blur the line between fact and fiction. On one hand, they're a tantalizing puzzle, a real-life treasure map that could lead to unimaginable wealth. On the other, they're a cautionary tale about the allure of mystery and the lengths people will go to in pursuit of the unknown. Over the years, countless treasure hunters have dedicated their lives to cracking the ciphers, some even claiming to have found clues or partial solutions. Yet the treasure, if it exists, remains hidden, and the ciphers continue to defy explanation. This enduring mystery raises an intriguing possibility. What if the Beale Ciphers were never meant to be solved? What if their true purpose was to inspire curiosity, to create a legend that would endure long after their creator was gone? In a way, the ciphers have achieved exactly that. They've become a cultural touchstone, a symbol of the human desire to uncover secrets and chase dreams, no matter how elusive they may be. Whether they're a genuine treasure map or an elaborate hoax, the Beale Ciphers remind us that some codes aren't just about hiding information, they're about sparking imagination and keeping the spirit of adventure alive. As we reflect on the Beale Ciphers, it's worth considering how they fit into the broader story of ancient and unsolved codes. Like the Voynich Manuscript and the Phaistos Disk, they challenge us to question not just the methods of encryption, but the motivations behind them. Were these codes created to protect secrets, to test the intellect of future generations, or simply to leave behind a legacy of mystery? The answer may vary from one code to the next, but one thing is certain. The allure of the unsolved continues to captivate us, drawing us deeper into the enigmatic world of ancient ciphers and the stories they tell. Moving from the ancient world to a more modern mystery, let's explore the chilling case of the Zodiac Killer's ciphers. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, this unidentified serial killer terrorized Northern California, leaving behind a trail of cryptic messages that continue to haunt investigators and amateur codebreakers alike. The Zodiac didn't just commit crimes, he taunted the public and law enforcement with a series of encoded letters sent to newspapers, each one a twisted puzzle designed to both reveal and conceal his identity. These ciphers were more than just codes, they were psychological weapons crafted to instill fear and fascination in equal measure. The Zodiac's first cipher, known as the 408 cipher, was cracked relatively quickly by a schoolteacher and his wife, revealing a disturbing message filled with bragging and threats. But the killer's second cipher, the 340 cipher, proved far more elusive. It took over 50 years and the combined efforts of professional cryptographers, mathematicians, and amateur sleuths to finally decode it in 2020. Even then, the message offered little concrete information about the killer's identity, leaving many to wonder if the Zodiac's true goal was to create an unsolvable enigma. To this day, 2 of his ciphers remain unbroken, a testament to the complexity of his encryption methods and the enduring mystery of his motives. What sets the Zodiac ciphers apart from other codes is the way they blur the line between communication and manipulation. Unlike ancient codes, which were often designed to protect secrets or convey sacred knowledge, the Zodiac's messages were crafted to provoke and terrify. Each letter was a calculated act of psychological warfare, designed to keep the public and authorities on edge. The killer's use of symbols, wordplay, and even references to popular culture added layers of complexity to his ciphers, making them as much a reflection of his twisted mind as they were a challenge to solve. This duality between the desire to communicate and the intent to intimidate raises profound questions about the nature of codes and the motivations behind them. Despite the passage of time, the Zodiac ciphers continue to captivate and frustrate. Amateur codebreakers and professional cryptographers alike have dedicated countless hours to cracking the remaining messages, driven by a mix of curiosity, determination, and the hope of finally unmasking one of history's most infamous criminals. Online forums and collaborative projects have brought together people from around the world, united by a shared goal to solve the unsolvable. Yet, the Zodiac ciphers resist all efforts, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be unraveled easily or at all. The Zodiac ciphers also highlight the dual nature of codes as both tools of communication and instruments of fear. While ancient codes often served practical or symbolic purposes, the Zodiac's messages were designed to unsettle, to create a sense of unease that lingers long after the letters were sent. This shift in purpose, from protecting knowledge to wielding power, reflects the darker side of cryptography, where codes become weapons in the hands of those who know how to use them. As we reflect on the Zodiac ciphers, we're reminded that the power of codes lies not just in their ability to conceal, but in their capacity to captivate, to challenge, and to haunt us across generations. This modern example of unsolved codes brings us full circle, connecting the ancient world's fascination with secrecy to the darker, more personal motivations behind modern encryption. Whether created to protect sacred knowledge, to test the intellect, or to instill fear, codes and ciphers have always been more than just puzzles. They're windows into the minds of those who create them, revealing the values, fears, and desires that drive us to encode our thoughts in the first place. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of ancient and modern codes, one thing becomes clear: the allure of the unsolved is as powerful today as it was thousands of years ago. Mathematics has always been the silent architect behind the art of cryptography, and ancient codes are no exception. At their core, many of these systems relied on patterns, substitutions, and transpositions, concepts that might sound complex but are rooted in simple, elegant principles. Take substitution ciphers, for example, where each letter in a message is replaced with another symbol or character. This method, used in the Caesar cipher, might seem straightforward, but when combined with other techniques, it could create layers of complexity that baffled even the most determined codebreakers. Transposition ciphers, on the other hand, rearranged the order of letters or words, scrambling the message into an unrecognizable sequence. Together, these methods formed the backbone of ancient encryption, proving that even the simplest mathematical ideas could be wielded with extraordinary ingenuity. One of the most significant breakthroughs in the history of cryptography came during the Islamic Golden Age, thanks to the work of Al-Kindi, a polymath who laid the groundwork for modern code-breaking. Al-Kindi introduced the concept of frequency analysis, a method that exploits the predictable patterns of language. By studying how often certain letters or symbols appeared in a text, he could reverse engineer substitution ciphers, effectively cracking codes that had once seemed unbreakable. This revolutionary approach didn't just change the game, it revealed the inherent vulnerabilities in even the most sophisticated systems of the time. Al-Kindi's work reminds us that cryptography is as much about understanding patterns as it is about creating them, a duality that continues to shape the field today. But not all ancient codes were so easily unraveled. Some were designed with such mathematical complexity that they remain unsolved to this day. Consider the Dorabella cipher, a short but baffling message written by composer Edward Elgar in 1897. Using a series of squiggly symbols, Elgar created a cipher that has resisted all attempts at decryption, despite over a century of analysis. Was it a personal code, a musical notation, or simply an artistic experiment? The answer remains elusive, but what's clear is that Elgar's cipher demonstrates how mathematical creativity can produce puzzles that defy even the most advanced techniques. This interplay between mathematics and mystery raises an intriguing question. Were some codes designed not just to protect secrets, but to test the limits of human intelligence? The creators of these systems may have seen encryption as a kind of intellectual challenge, a way to push the boundaries of what was possible. In this light, codes like the Dorabella cipher or the Voynich Manuscript become more than just historical artifacts. They're invitations to explore the outer edges of human ingenuity, to wrestle with problems that may never have a clear solution. And as we continue to grapple with these ancient puzzles, we're reminded that the true power of cryptography lies not just in its ability to conceal, but in its capacity to inspire wonder, curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. As we move forward, we'll explore how these mathematical principles evolved over time, shaping the codes and ciphers that continue to captivate us today. From ancient substitution ciphers to modern encryption algorithms, the story of cryptography is a testament to the enduring relationship between mathematics and mystery, a relationship that challenges us to think deeper, look closer, and never stop asking questions. Among the countless ancient codes and ciphers that have puzzled humanity, the Rosetta Stone stands out as a rare triumph, a code that was not only meant to be solved but also designed to bridge the gap between cultures and languages. Discovered in 1799 by French soldiers during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, this unassuming slab of black basalt became one of the most important archaeological finds in history. What made it so extraordinary? The stone bore the same text inscribed in three scripts: ancient Greek, Demotic, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. For the first time, scholars had a key, a parallel text that allowed them to compare a known language with an unknown one, unlocking the secrets of hieroglyphs that had been silent for centuries. The journey to decipher the Rosetta Stone was anything but straightforward. It took over 2 decades of painstaking work by linguists and scholars, most notably Jean-François Champollion, to crack the code. Champollion's breakthrough came when he realized that hieroglyphs weren't just symbolic pictures but also represented sounds, much like an alphabet. By comparing the Greek text, which was already understood, with the hieroglyphs, he was able to identify phonetic patterns and piece together the meaning of the ancient script. This monumental achievement didn't just solve a puzzle, it opened a window into the history, culture, and beliefs of ancient Egypt, transforming our understanding of one of the world's oldest civilizations. What sets the Rosetta Stone apart from other ancient codes is its intentional design. Unlike the Voynich Manuscript or the Phaistos Disk, which seemed to guard their secrets jealously, the Rosetta Stone was created to be understood. It was a public decree issued in 196 BC, meant to communicate the same message to multiple audiences: Greek-speaking rulers, Egyptian priests, and the general populace. This trilingual approach wasn't just practical, it was a deliberate act of inclusion, ensuring that the decree could be read and understood by as many people as possible. In this sense, the Rosetta Stone wasn't a code in the traditional sense but a tool for clarity, a bridge between languages and cultures. The story of the Rosetta Stone also highlights the importance of context and collaboration in solving ancient codes. Without the Greek text as a reference point, the hieroglyphs might have remained a mystery indefinitely. It was the combination of linguistic knowledge, historical context, and the dedication of scholars like Champollion that made decipherment possible. This stands in stark contrast to codes like the Voynich Manuscript, where the lack of a key or parallel text has left us grasping at straws. The Rosetta Stone reminds us that not all codes are created equal. Some are meant to be solved, while others are designed to remain enigmatic. Yet, even with its success, the Rosetta Stone raises an intriguing question. Why are so many ancient codes so difficult to crack? If the creators of the Rosetta Stone could design a text meant to be understood across languages, why did others choose to encode their messages in ways that seem almost deliberately obscure? The answer may lie in the different purposes behind these codes. While the Rosetta Stone was meant to communicate, other codes were designed to conceal, to challenge, or even to inspire awe. Each one reflects the values and priorities of the society that created it, offering us a glimpse into their world through the lens of secrecy and symbolism. As we reflect on the Rosetta Stone's legacy, it's worth considering how it contrasts with the unsolved codes we've explored. Where the Rosetta Stone was a key to understanding, others remain locked doors, their secrets tantalizingly out of reach. This duality between clarity and mystery captures the essence of ancient codes and ciphers. They are not just puzzles to be solved, but stories to be told, each one a testament to the ingenuity, creativity, and complexity of the human mind. And as we continue to explore these ancient mysteries, we're reminded that the pursuit of knowledge is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. Now, let's turn our attention to a marvel of ancient engineering that blurs the line between code and machine, the Antikythera Mechanism. Discovered in 1901 among the wreckage of a Roman-era ship off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera, this bronze device has been called the world's first analog computer. At first glance, it looks like a corroded lump of metal, but beneath its weathered surface lies a labyrinth of gears, dials, and inscriptions. A mechanical puzzle that has fascinated scientists and historians for over a century. What was this device for? How did it work? And perhaps most intriguingly, was it ever meant to be fully understood? The Antikythera Mechanism is a masterpiece of ancient craftsmanship, with over 30 interlocking gears designed to perform complex calculations. Researchers have determined that it was used to predict astronomical events such as eclipses, the positions of the sun and moon, and even the cycles of the ancient Olympic Games. The precision of its design is staggering, especially when you consider it was created over 2,000 years ago, long before the advent of modern engineering. But what makes the mechanism truly remarkable is the way it encodes information not in symbols or letters, but in the movement of its gears. It's a code in motion, a physical representation of celestial knowledge that required both mathematical genius and mechanical skill to create. Deciphering the Antikythera Mechanism has been a monumental challenge. Unlike a written cipher where the goal is to translate symbols into words, this device required researchers to reverse engineer its physical components. X-ray imaging and advanced 3D modeling have revealed the intricate details of its inner workings, but many questions remain. Some of the inscriptions on the device are still undeciphered, and the full extent of its capabilities is still being uncovered. This raises an important question. Did the creators of the Antikythera Mechanism intend for its full purpose to be understood, or was it designed to remain a mystery, a testament to the ingenuity of its makers? The implications of the Antikythera Mechanism are profound. It challenges our assumptions about ancient technology, showing that the Greeks possessed a level of scientific and engineering sophistication that rivals even modern achievements. But it also raises questions about the nature of knowledge and secrecy in the ancient world. Was this device created to share astronomical insights, or was it a closely guarded secret, accessible only to a select few? The answer may lie somewhere in between, reflecting a society that valued both the dissemination of knowledge and the mystique of innovation. As we marvel at the Antikythera Mechanism, it's worth considering how it fits into the broader story of ancient codes and ciphers. Like the Voynich Manuscript or the Phaistos Disk, it represents a puzzle that resists easy explanation, a challenge that continues to captivate and inspire. But unlike those enigmatic artifacts, the Antikythera Mechanism offers a glimpse into a world where science and art, mechanics and mystery were deeply intertwined. It reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is not just about solving puzzles. It's about understanding the minds of those who created them and the world they sought to explain. And as we continue to unravel its secrets, we're reminded that some codes are not just meant to be cracked, they're meant to move us, both literally and figuratively, toward a deeper appreciation of the past. Religion has long been a fertile ground for the use of codes and ciphers, weaving secrecy and symbolism into the very fabric of sacred texts and rituals. For many ancient cultures, the act of encoding messages wasn't just about protecting information, it was about elevating it, transforming ordinary words into vessels of divine wisdom. Take, for example, the Kabbalistic tradition within Judaism, where the practice of gematria assigns numerical values to letters, unlocking hidden layers of meaning within sacred texts. By calculating the numerical sum of words or phrases, practitioners believed they could uncover deeper spiritual truths, connecting the material world to the divine in ways that transcended ordinary language. This wasn't just a code, it was a bridge between the human and the holy, a way to glimpse the ineffable through the lens of mathematics. But gematria is just one example of how religion and cryptography intertwine. In ancient Egypt, hieroglyphs often served a dual purpose, functioning as both written language and sacred symbols. Certain inscriptions were deliberately encoded, accessible only to priests or initiates who had been trained to interpret their hidden meanings. These texts weren't meant for the masses, they were reserved for those deemed worthy, a way to safeguard the mysteries of the gods and ensure that sacred knowledge remained pure and untainted. This idea of exclusivity wasn't unique to Egypt. It echoed across cultures, from the cryptic chants of Vedic priests in India to the symbolic rituals of early Christian mystics. In each case, codes and ciphers became tools for preserving the sacred, ensuring that only the initiated could access the deepest truths. The spiritual significance of these codes goes beyond mere secrecy. In many traditions, the act of encoding a message was itself a form of devotion, a way to honor the divine by treating sacred knowledge with reverence and care. Consider the use of acrostics in the Hebrew Bible, where the first letters of certain verses spell out hidden messages or names of God. These weren't just literary flourishes, they were deliberate acts of encoding, designed to embed divine presence within the text itself. Similarly, in Islamic tradition, the art of calligraphy often incorporates hidden meanings, with letters and shapes arranged to convey both aesthetic beauty and spiritual depth. These codes weren't meant to be solved in the traditional sense. They were meant to inspire contemplation, to draw the reader or viewer into a deeper relationship with the divine. Yet, the use of codes in religious contexts also raises intriguing questions about accessibility and power. If sacred knowledge is encoded, who gets to decide who can access it? In many cases, the answer lies in the hands of religious authorities who acted as gatekeepers of divine wisdom. This dynamic wasn't just about control, it was about maintaining the sanctity of the message, ensuring that it wasn't diluted or misunderstood. But it also created a tension between secrecy and revelation, between the desire to share divine truths and the need to protect them. This tension is perhaps most evident in the concept of divine revelation, where certain codes or messages are believed to be accessible only through spiritual insight or divine intervention. In these cases, the code isn't just a puzzle to be solved. It's a test of faith, a way to separate the truly devout from the merely curious. The cultural implications of these religious codes are profound. They remind us that codes and ciphers aren't just tools for secrecy, they're also expressions of belief, ways to connect with the sacred and preserve the wisdom of the past. Whether through gematria, hieroglyphs, or acrostics, these encoded messages reflect the values and priorities of the societies that created them, offering us a glimpse into their spiritual world. And as we explore these ancient practices, we're reminded that the pursuit of hidden knowledge is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. It's about the questions we ask, the connections we make, and the ways we seek to understand the mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp. As we move forward, we'll see how these religious codes influenced broader cultural practices, shaping the way societies communicated, preserved knowledge, and understood their place in the cosmos. From sacred texts to symbolic rituals, the legacy of these ancient codes continues to resonate, reminding us that the line between the earthly and the divine is often written in cipher. The legacy of ancient codes isn't confined to dusty manuscripts or forgotten artifacts. It lives on in the very fabric of modern cryptography. The principles that guided the creation of the Caesar cipher or the Cytale of ancient Sparta are still at work today, shaping the digital encryption that protects everything from your bank transactions to your private messages. Substitution and transposition, the cornerstones of ancient cryptography, have evolved into sophisticated algorithms that secure our online world. But while the tools have changed, the core challenge remains the same. How do we balance security with accessibility? How do we create codes that are strong enough to protect sensitive information, yet flexible enough to be used by millions? These questions have driven the evolution of cryptography from ancient times to the present day, and they continue to inspire both professionals and hobbyists alike. Take substitution ciphers, for example. In their simplest form, they replace one letter with another, much like the Caesar cipher. Today, this idea has been scaled up and transformed into complex encryption methods like the Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES, which powers much of the Internet's security. Instead of shifting letters, AES substitutes entire blocks of data, scrambling them in ways that would have been unimaginable to ancient cryptographers. Similarly, transposition ciphers, which rearrange the order of letters or symbols, have found new life in modern algorithms that shuffle data to make it unreadable to anyone without the proper key. These techniques, rooted in ancient practices, are now the backbone of digital security, proving that the past and present are more connected than we might think. But the influence of ancient codes goes beyond just technical methods. It's also about the mindset they inspire. The same curiosity that drove scholars to decode the Rosetta Stone or unravel the mysteries of the Voynich Manuscript now fuels the work of modern cryptographers. Whether it's developing new encryption standards or cracking the codes of cybercriminals, the spirit of exploration and problem-solving remains the same. And it's not just professionals who are captivated by this legacy. Amateur codebreakers, inspired by the stories of ancient ciphers, continue to tackle unsolved puzzles, from the Dorabella cipher to the Zodiac Killer's messages. This blend of history and innovation keeps the field of cryptography vibrant and ever-evolving. Yet, as we celebrate the ingenuity of ancient and modern codes, we also have to confront the ethical questions they raise. Who gets to create codes and who gets to break them? In the ancient world, codes were often tools of power, used by rulers, priests, and generals to control information and maintain authority. Today, encryption is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it protects our privacy and secures our digital lives. On the other, it can be used to shield illegal activities or suppress dissent. The same technology that safeguards your online banking can also enable cybercrime or government surveillance. This tension between security and freedom is as old as cryptography itself, and it's a debate that continues to shape the field. As we reflect on the journey from ancient codes to modern encryption, it's clear that the allure of secrecy and the challenge of solving puzzles are timeless. Whether it's a clay tablet inscribed with hieroglyphs or a complex algorithm securing your smartphone, codes and ciphers remind us of the power of human ingenuity. They challenge us to think critically, to push boundaries, and to wrestle with questions that have no easy answers. And as we move forward, we're reminded that the story of cryptography isn't just about the codes themselves. It's about the people who create them, the minds that crack them, and the societies they shape. In the end, the legacy of ancient codes is not just a technical one. It's a testament to the enduring human desire to communicate, to protect, and to understand. The creation and decipherment of codes have always been more than just intellectual exercises. They're deeply tied to questions of ethics and intent. When we encounter an ancient cipher like the Voynich Manuscript or the Phaistos Disk, we're not just solving a puzzle, we're engaging with the choices of the people who created it. Were these codes designed to be solved, or were they meant to remain unsolved, acting as permanent guardians of secrets? This question isn't just academic, it touches on the very nature of communication, power, and the human desire to leave a lasting mark. For some, creating an unsolvable code might have been a way to elevate knowledge to the realm of the sacred, ensuring that only the worthy could access it. For others, it might have been a deliberate act of obscurity, a way to protect sensitive information from falling into the wrong hands. But what does it mean for us as modern interpreters to attempt to crack these codes? Are we honoring the Creator's intentions, or are we imposing our own curiosity onto something that was never meant to be understood? This tension becomes even more pronounced when dealing with culturally sensitive materials. Many ancient codes are tied to religious or spiritual practices, and their decipherment can feel like crossing a boundary. Take, for example, the sacred texts of the Maya or the intricate symbols of ancient Egyptian rituals. These weren't just codes, they were expressions of belief, ways of connecting with the divine. Deciphering them without understanding their cultural context risks reducing them to mere puzzles, stripping away the layers of meaning that made them significant in the first place. This raises an important ethical question. Do we have the right to decode everything, or are some mysteries better left untouched? The answer isn't always clear, but it's a reminder that the act of decipherment carries responsibilities as well as rewards. At the same time, the pursuit of ancient codes can also be a way of honoring the past. By unraveling these mysteries, we gain insights into the lives, values, and ingenuity of the people who came before us. The Rosetta Stone, for instance, wasn't just a key to understanding hieroglyphs. It was a bridge to an entire civilization, allowing us to hear the voices of ancient Egyptians in their own words. In cases like this, decipherment becomes an act of preservation, a way to ensure that the knowledge and stories of the past aren't lost to time. But even here, we must tread carefully, balancing our desire to uncover the truth with respect for the cultures and individuals who created these codes. The enduring fascination with unsolved codes speaks to something deeper within us, a love of mystery, a drive to explore the unknown, and a desire to connect with the past. Whether we're drawn to the intellectual challenge of cracking a cipher or the thrill of uncovering a long-lost secret, these ancient puzzles remind us of the power of human creativity and the limits of our understanding. They challenge us to ask not just how something works, but why it was created in the first place. And in doing so, they invite us to reflect on our own relationship with secrecy, knowledge, and the stories we choose to tell. As we continue to explore the world of ancient codes and ciphers, we're reminded that some mysteries are not just meant to be solved, they're meant to inspire us to keep asking questions, to keep searching, and to keep marveling at the ingenuity of those who came before us. There's something undeniably magnetic about an unsolved code. It's not just the challenge, it's the way it pulls us in, teasing our curiosity and daring us to unravel its secrets. Think about the Voynich Manuscript with its alien script and enigmatic illustrations. For centuries, it has defied every attempt at decipherment, yet it continues to captivate scholars and amateur sleuths alike. Why? Because it taps into something fundamental about the human psyche, our love of puzzles and the thrill of the unknown. Unsolved codes are like intellectual black holes. They draw us in, promising answers just beyond our reach, and that promise is irresistible. At the heart of this fascination is the psychology of problem solving. Humans are wired to seek patterns, to make sense of the world around us. When we encounter a puzzle, our brains light up, driven by a mix of curiosity and determination. Solving a code isn't just about cracking a sequence of symbols. It's about the satisfaction of outsmarting the creator, of proving that no secret is truly safe from human ingenuity. This drive is what makes the Beale Ciphers so compelling. The idea of a hidden treasure locked away behind a code that only one person has ever cracked is the ultimate challenge. It's not just about the gold, it's about the glory of being the one to solve the puzzle. But what happens when a code resists all attempts at decipherment? That's where the real magic lies. The mystery of an unsolved code becomes a story, a legend that grows with each failed attempt. Take the Voynich Manuscript again. Its undeciphered text has spawned countless theories, from medieval herbal guides to alien messages. Each new interpretation adds to its mystique, transforming it from a simple manuscript into a cultural icon. The same is true of the Beale Ciphers. The fact that 2 of the 3 ciphers remain unsolved only adds to their allure, turning them into a symbol of the eternal quest for hidden knowledge. This emotional impact isn't just about the codes themselves, it's about what they represent. Ancient codes are more than just puzzles, they're windows into the minds of the people who created them. When we try to crack a code like the Voynich Manuscript, we're not just solving a riddle, we're connecting with the past, trying to understand the motivations and values of a society long gone. Was the manuscript a practical guide, a work of art, or something else entirely? The answer, if we ever find it, could tell us as much about its creators as it does about the code itself. And that's the real power of unsolved codes. They remind us that the pursuit of knowledge is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. Whether we're poring over the cryptic symbols of the Phaistos Disk or chasing the elusive treasure of the Beale Ciphers, we're not just solving puzzles, we're exploring the boundaries of human creativity and resilience. These codes challenge us to think differently, to question our assumptions, and to keep searching even when the answers seem out of reach. In a world where so much is known, they offer a rare and precious gift, the thrill of the unknown. As we reflect on the psychology of unsolved codes, it's worth considering what they reveal about the societies that created them. Were these codes meant to protect secrets, to test the intellect of future generations, or simply to leave behind a legacy of mystery? The answer may vary from one code to the next, but one thing is certain. The allure of the unsolved continues to captivate us, drawing us deeper into the enigmatic world of ancient ciphers and the stories they tell. And as we continue to explore these mysteries, we're reminded that some codes aren't just meant to be cracked. They're meant to inspire us to keep asking questions, to keep searching, and to keep marveling at the ingenuity of those who came before us. Ancient codes are more than just puzzles, they're mirrors reflecting the values, priorities, and fears of the societies that crafted them. When we examine these enigmatic creations, we're not just decoding symbols, we're uncovering the stories of the people who used them. For many ancient civilizations, codes were tools of power, designed to protect knowledge and assert authority. Think of the Egyptian hieroglyphs, which were not only a written language but also a sacred script reserved for priests and rulers. By encoding their messages, they ensured that only the elite could access the wisdom of the gods, reinforcing their status as intermediaries between the divine and the mortal world. This wasn't just about secrecy, it was about control, a way to maintain order in a world where knowledge was synonymous with power. But codes weren't always about hierarchy. In some cases, they were acts of devotion, a way to honor the divine by embedding sacred truths within layers of symbolism. The Kabbalistic practice of gematria, for instance, transformed ordinary words into numerical puzzles, revealing hidden spiritual meanings that connected the material world to the divine. This wasn't just a clever trick with numbers, it was a profound expression of faith, a way to explore the mysteries of existence through the lens of mathematics. Similarly, the intricate calligraphy of Islamic manuscripts often concealed deeper meanings, blending art and spirituality into a single, unified expression. These codes weren't meant to be solved in the traditional sense. They were meant to inspire awe, to draw the reader or viewer into a deeper relationship with the sacred. Yet, not all codes were created with such lofty intentions. Some were born out of necessity, crafted to protect sensitive information from prying eyes. The Caesar cipher, for example, was a practical tool used by Roman generals to safeguard military strategies. Its simplicity belied its effectiveness, allowing commanders to communicate securely in a world where intercepted messages could mean the difference between victory and defeat. This pragmatic approach to cryptography reveals a society that valued efficiency and innovation, traits that would shape the course of Western civilization for centuries to come. Even today, the principles behind the Caesar cipher echo in the algorithms that secure our digital lives, proving that the past and present are more connected than we might think. What's perhaps most fascinating is the idea that some codes were never meant to be solved at all. Take the Voynich Manuscript or the Phaistos Disk. These artifacts resist all attempts at decipherment, leaving us to wonder if their creators intended them to remain mysteries. Were they designed to challenge future generations, to test the limits of human intelligence, or were they meant to serve as enduring symbols of creativity, a way for their creators to leave behind a legacy that would outlast their time? This duality between the desire to communicate and the desire to mystify captures the essence of ancient codes. They are not just puzzles to be solved, they are stories to be told, each one a testament to the ingenuity and complexity of the human mind. As we reflect on the cultural significance of these codes, it's clear that they offer us more than just historical insights. They challenge us to think differently about the past. By studying these ancient puzzles, we gain a deeper understanding of the societies that created them, from their spiritual beliefs to their political structures. But we also gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, of our own fascination with mystery and our relentless drive to uncover the unknown. Ancient codes remind us that the pursuit of knowledge is as much about the journey as it is about the destination, and that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. They are meant to inspire us to keep asking questions, to keep searching, and to keep marveling at the ingenuity of those who came before us. As we near the end of our exploration, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the key themes we've uncovered. From the practical ciphers of ancient Rome to the sacred codes of religious traditions, these enigmatic creations reveal the values, fears, and aspirations of the societies that crafted them. They remind us that codes are more than just tools for secrecy. They are expressions of human creativity, ways to connect with the divine, and testaments to the enduring power of mystery. Whether they were meant to be solved or to remain unsolved, ancient codes continue to captivate us, offering a glimpse into the minds of those who came before us and inspiring us to keep exploring the boundaries of human ingenuity. As we wrap up our journey through the world of ancient codes and ciphers, it's clear that these enigmatic creations are far more than just puzzles to be solved. They are windows into the past, offering us a glimpse into the minds, values, and priorities of the societies that crafted them. From the practical ciphers of Roman generals to the sacred symbols of religious traditions, each code tells a story of power, creativity, and the human desire to communicate, protect, and mystify. Whether they were designed to be cracked or to remain unsolved, these codes challenge us to think differently about history, culture, and the limits of our understanding. One of the most striking themes we've explored is the dual nature of ancient codes. On one hand, they were practical tools used to safeguard secrets, transmit sensitive information, or assert authority. The Caesar cipher, for example, was a straightforward yet effective way to protect military strategies, while the Rosetta Stone served as a bridge between languages, unlocking the secrets of an entire civilization. These codes remind us that cryptography has always been about more than just secrecy. It's about control, communication, and the preservation of knowledge. On the other hand, many ancient codes seem to defy explanation, resisting all attempts at decipherment. The Voynich Manuscript, with its alien script and bizarre illustrations, continues to baffle scholars and amateur sleuths alike. The Phaistos Disk, with its unique symbols and spiraling patterns, remains a mystery centuries after its discovery. These unsolved codes raise profound questions about their purpose. Were they meant to be solved, or were they designed to remain enigmatic, acting as symbols of the unknown? Perhaps their true purpose was not to conceal information, but to inspire wonder, to challenge future generations, or to serve as enduring testaments to the creativity and ingenuity of their creators. This duality between the solvable and the unsolvable captures the essence of ancient codes. They are not just puzzles, they are reflections of the societies that created them, revealing their values, fears, and aspirations. By studying these codes, we gain a deeper understanding of the past, but we also gain insight into ourselves. They remind us of our own fascination with mystery, our drive to uncover the unknown, and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. In a world where so much is known, ancient codes offer a rare and precious gift: the thrill of the unknown, the joy of discovery, and the challenge of solving the unsolvable. So, what do you think? Were ancient codes meant to be solved, or do they serve a greater purpose as symbols of the unknown? Do they challenge us to push the boundaries of our understanding, or do they remind us that some mysteries are better left untouched? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're as captivated by these historical mysteries as we are, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the secrets of the past. Together, let's keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep marveling at the ingenuity of those who came before us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.